Hey everyone, back at Farmer Pat here. It's a very exciting day. Today I'm in Palm Bay and I'm about to set up my first vegetable garden in the new Palm Bay home. So today is going to be really special. I'm going to show you how to set up your vegetable beds from scratch, right? So this current garden has no vegetable beds. It has no fruit trees. So you're going to see step by step what I do to create my vegetable garden. I'm going to also do a product review of some metal beds that I bought, and I'm going to talk to you about setting up both metal beds as well as wooden beds. I'm going to go through the pricing, which one was worked out less expensive. You guys are going to be very surprised about that. And I'm also going to show you which one was easier, and at the end I'm going to tell you which one I prefer, but I want to hear from you guys also to see which ones you prefer. So let's take a look at what I've done so far. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So I have two galvanized steel beds, and I got those on Amazon, and they're literally just called galvanized steel beds. What I like about them is that, well, they are galvanized steel, so they will not break down like how wood would break down. So these will probably last 30-40 years, who knows, they'll last forever since it's galvanized steel. And because it's galvanized, it should not rust easily. I also like that it's very lightweight. It's easily, see, I can easily pick it up with one hand, and I'm not the strongest person. These beds are 4 feet across by 8 feet long, and that in itself is great. You never want to have a vegetable garden that is more than 4 feet across, because the key is that you should be able to stand on any side and reach in to the middle of the bed. So here I can easily, my arms are about 2 feet, 2.5 feet. I can easily reach into the middle of the bed to harvest my crops. A big newbie mistake that I'm pretty sure I made at one point was making a bed that was more than 4 feet across. Actually, my last newbie mistake was I did make the bed 4 feet across, but I put it up straight against my house, so I wasn't able to harvest on one side of the bed without stepping in the bed. You never want to step in your vegetable garden to harvest, so you want to be able to walk all the way around. So this is a 4x8. The corners are pretty smooth, so I like that the corners are pretty smooth. Just have to be careful about the top. The top is a little bit on the sharp side. On Amazon it said that it takes 5 minutes to set up. I can tell you it did not take me 5 minutes. My son and myself set up the first bed. It took us just over an hour. The second bed I set up by myself. That took me about 40 minutes, and that's because I got a little bit more used to it the second time. Plus I wasn't really rushing. It probably would take half an hour if you're like really focused, a couple people working on it. But I really do like these. I think it's a beautiful addition to the bed, and I love that it's gonna last forever. These cost $69 on Amazon, so I think that's a great price. $69 for beds that probably can't be easily broken, can't be easily chewed into. As you notice, for the tarp, I put the tarp to overlap in the bed. Normally you never ever want to put tarp in a veggie bed because you want the roots to be able to reach down, but I have the tarp only along the edges, and that's because I don't want weeds to go from the walkway into the bed, and I know that whatever I plant, it can find its way around the bed, around the edge, so that's fine. I probably won't be growing directly up against the edge anyway, so whatever I plant will find its way down. Same thing on this side. I put this really good weed block. It's I think it's called Ecogardener, and I'll also put a link to that. What I like about the weed block now, it's also on Amazon, but it has a felt back, and it's very thick. And Lois, you remember that garden tour I did with Lois? Lois is the one where I saw it first, and she said that she's had it for like 8 months and there are no weeds going through. The thing about it really makes sense when you're starting from scratch. Set the bed up right the first time. That way you don't have to be doing everything every year. I'm using good quality materials now, and I'm using good quality soil, of course, but I'm doing it right the first time, so I don't have to redo it. So as you can see, I have my two beds set up. I have my walkway. My walkway, it's about 3 feet. For this tarp, the tarp is 4 feet by I believe the ream I bought was 100 feet. But what I like about this tarp is it's lined. So every foot has a green line. So it's very easy for me to keep the bed straight, so I can line it up in line with the line, so my beds are straight. And also, if I want to cut a 2-foot wide piece, which is what I did here, I can use a 2-foot wide piece to cut smaller pieces. So what I did is I left a walkway between the house and the bed, and it's exactly 2 feet wide, and I can easily walk along and harvest my fruits that are going to be, my vegetables that are going to be here. In the center aisle, I made that one 3 feet wide because I want to be able to easily walk, wheel a wheelbarrow through. If I want to add more soil, or if I want to add any plants in a wheelbarrow, I can easily go through the center. The one that's against the wall is 2 feet is more than adequate. All right, so that's that for the Ecogardener tarp, as well as the metal bed. Now let's talk about how I'm doing my wooden bed. So, all right, so let's walk down this aisle. So what I've bought for the wooden bed is I bought 2 by 12 by 12 foot wood. And you see here, that's a 2 by 12 by 12 foot wood. It's very, very long. The other bed is only 8 feet. This one is 12 feet. So, and what I did was I took one of the 12 feet long wood and I cut it into 4 pieces. So each piece is 3 feet. And then I used these gardening blocks, these landscape blocks that I'm going to use to hold the wood up. So what I did was I'm going to use the 3 foot section along the top of the bed. Then I'm going to make it 3 feet wide by 12 feet long. So instead of me spending extra money to buy just a 3 foot section of wood, I took the 12 foot section, which cost $21, and I broke it into 4 pieces. So it's roughly like $5. Call it $5.25 per piece. That's how it runs out. Be absolutely sure never to use pressure treated wood. So this is normal pine wood. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Look at that beautiful pattern. So I bought regular pine wood, but because of the thickness, I think this is going to last me a long time. Pressure treated wood has arsenic and it has other chemicals that they use to pressure treat it. You don't want that leaching into your food, so that's why I don't use pressure treated wood. You can make sure that your pieces of wood aren't cracked. I didn't realize till I got home that my wood is cracked. These wooden blocks are really great. You can see here I double stacked the wooden block, and you can very, very easily just slide the wood in. Oops. Very easily slide the wood in. So literally this takes like 5 minutes. I can use my 3 foot pieces to build a 3 by 3 bed, which is a perfect size if I want to have a herb garden. So that will cost me like $21 for the piece of wood. Home Depot cuts it and Lowe's cuts it for free. But you can see if I added a couple more corners, it would be a perfect size for a 3 by 3 bed. But today I'm gonna do a 12 by 3 bed. So I'm gonna go ahead and build the bed really quickly and then show you what it looks like after. But it's literally gonna take me 5 minutes or less, probably 3 minutes. Okay, so I am done setting up the bed. As you can see, I have 2 blocks on either end, 2 landscape blocks on either end, as well as I put the wood in. Because it's 12 feet long, it was a bit awkward. It wasn't as easy as doing a 3 foot bed or a 6 foot bed. It was pretty awkward, but I got it in all by myself. It took more than 5 minutes, took me like 10 minutes because I was struggling and the wood was slightly warped. But all in all, it came out very nice, and it may have taken 10 minutes versus the other bed that took 40 minutes. Okay, so I also went ahead and started filling up this bed. So there are a few important things that we need to talk about before we even get this far. So first of all, we need to look at the location. What is the location that you're going to plant your bed in? You don't want to set your bed up until you're really sure of the location, because once you put the soil in, of course, you can't just easily move it. So the first thing to think about is water source. You want to make sure you're setting up your bed close to a water source. So there are different things you can use. You can use a hose, you can use a sprinkler system, you can use a rain barrel, like you can see right there. I bought a rain barrel that I'm going to set up with my downspout. You can use a drip irrigation system, which I also plan on using. So you make sure that you have a water source, because of course your plants will not grow, they will not thrive, except if it's a rainy season. They will not thrive without water. So that's number one. And number two, which is equally important, is pick your location based on the plant that you're planting. Does it like full sun? Does it like partial sun? Does it like most of the day sun, or just does it only need a few hours of sun? So the first bed I set up is closest to my house, closest to my kitchen, and that's going to be like my herb and veggie garden. In the morning, the sun comes from the east, so the neighbors, my backyard faces the east. So if you go right along the fence line, it's pretty shaded out by the fence, but then it climbs over the trees, and then the sun hits these beds. What I'm gonna do is the two outside beds, I'm gonna save those for flowering veggies and plants like tomatoes, cucumbers. Those kind of plants require more sun. Anything that produces a fruit or a vegetable provides more sun. And then closer to the house, I'm gonna have my herbs and my greens, my all my different greens, my cabbages and my I can't think right now, my mustard greens, all my different greens I'm gonna have in this bed. Because greens and herbs require less soil, you notice that I didn't put the soil all the way to the edge. First of all, these beds take a lot of soil. So that takes us back to number 3. How much soil do you need for these beds? I know at first, I remember as a new gardener, it was very confusing. I never knew how many bags to get. I'd get go and get 3 bags and get another 4 bags, and you never quite knew how many bags to get. So I'm going to teach you a very easy way to tell. So this bed is 4 foot wide by 1 foot tall by 8 feet long, right? So in order to find how many cubic feet you need to multiply 4 by 8 by 1. So 4 times 8 is 32, times 1 is 32, right? So that means you need 32 cubic feet of soil. Then you look at your bags. I'm using the Kellogg's all organic raised bed and potting mix because it's organic. First of all, it has a lot of good things in it, and I've had good success with this. So each bag is 2 cubic feet, right? So that means this is 32 cubic feet, so I'll need 16 bags of Kellogg's potting mix. So because I'm also using a couple bags of cow manure, they are 1 cubic foot each. So I use 2 bags of cow manure, right? So that means now I only need 30 cubic feet of potting soil. So I really need 15 bags of potting soil mix, raised bed mix, with the 2 bags. But because it's greens and herbs, I'm not going to go all the way to the top. Not only that, I always put a layer of mulch, which will also take up space. And these bags are expensive, pretty expensive, and they're very heavy. So I'm going to stop right where you see it right now. So I've used 9 bags of potting mix. So I've used 9 times 2 is 18 cubic feet of soil, and 2 bags of cow manure. So I've used 20 cubic feet. I think that's gonna be fine for now. Say in another season or 2, I decide, hey, I want to use this bed for cucumbers or for something else that requires deeper roots. What I can do at that time is just refresh the soil and fill it up with more soil, and so that the roots can go down deeper. I'm using 1 foot deep beds for everything to keep it pretty consistent. So you'll notice over here that I have cardboard. So what I always do, not always, but what I did this time, and I do sometimes when I'm building a bed, instead of me digging, I'm not gonna waste my back energy trying to dig up all this grass and all this stuff. So what I do is I let the earthworms do the work for me. So I put down, I can use newspaper. You don't want to use any shiny paper or anything with plastics or anything, but I use cardboard, and you can see it rained last night, so it's already very soft. Look at that, I kind of stick my finger through it. So it rained last night, it already started breaking on the cardboard. So I'm putting a layer of cardboard that's gonna help suppress the weeds and kill the weeds. And then plus the weight of the soil also suppresses the weeds. But just in case, since I'm not used to Palm Bay and not used to these kind of weeds, I don't know if these are the kind of superhero weeds that are gonna grow through everything. So I put the layer of cardboard, and then I add the soil on top. So what else do I need to tell you now? Okay, so there's one important thing I forgot to tell you guys. Let's talk price. Okay, so what were the prices on these? So for the metal bed, as I said, I paid $69. For the 12 by 3 wooden bed with the blocks, each piece of 12-foot wood was $21, and I took another piece and cut it into 4. So let's say it's really 21 times 3, which is 21 times 3 is $63 plus $24 worth of blocks, because each block is $3. So that's 63 plus 24, that's $87. So the bed as it is the wooden bed as it is $87, but that does leave us with 2 extra pieces of 3-foot wood that we can use for another bed, or for the ends of another bed, which I will actually use for the ends of another bed. So if you take that into consideration, it's really like $77. So the metal bed, as I said, is $69. And the 3 by 3 bed, if I use 1 foot of 21-foot piece of wood and cut it into 4 pieces, that would be $21 plus $24 for the blocks. So that would take us back to $45. So if you want a small bed with just some veggies, or a bed for just sweet potatoes or for your herbs, a 3 by 3 around would be more than enough for $45. And of course, the soil is another expense. Those bags are like $8 a bag for the soil. Oh yeah, and guys, you wanted to know what my favorite is, or I wanted to tell you what my favorite is. So I think for beauty and longevity, definitely I like the metal bed. But for ease of use, I love the wood bed. I love that I can even kneel on the side of the wood bed. Whereas on the metal bed, even loading the soil was a bit challenging for me, because I couldn't like kneel on the side to load the soil. I had to like hoist the soil over to shake it out. Whereas on the wooden beds, I can actually just kneel on the side and shake it out more easily. So what do I prefer? I love both of them, tell the truth. But you guys tell me if you've used them, and you let me know what you prefer. Drop a comment below, please. I think that's it. I think I have everything now. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I think of any more tips, I will add them at the end. But guys, please, if you like this video, please click like. YouTube does look to see how many people click like and how many people subscribe to determine what they're gonna suggest to other people. I'm really hoping that you guys join me on this journey as I set up my new garden in Palm Bay. It is super exciting. I thank all of you who have been following me since I started in my other garden, and now you get to follow me as I set up this new garden without any fruits and vegetables. Now we're gonna grow our gardens together. Till next time, let's plant, grow, and eat together. Go out and plant a seed together, and go out and share this video. Share what you're producing. Please drop a comment below to let me know what you're growing and what was the best tip that you got from this video. Hope this is helpful. Till next time, bye now.